Hi, this is Wayne Mansfield. We're talking about books today, and there's two I want to bring to your attention. The common theme for the authors that I have known of them, but in recent times have become associated with them on a regular basis, probably daily, through this fabulous program called Empire Avenue. Empire Avenue brings gamification to social media. So if you want to know more about that, head on over to our 23 Steps of Social Media Domination, which you can find in our YouTube channel or on the Wayne Mansfield website. But the two books I want to talk to you about, the first one is called The Tao of Twitter, and it's by a guy called Mark Schaefer. And the second one is by a guy called Randy Gage. He's called a prosperity coach. He's whizzing around the world teaching people how to look at ways to increase their wealth or their prosperity. And the book is called Risky is the New Safe, and basically it's saying the rules have changed. So let's have a look at Tao for a moment with the Tao of Twitter. And basically Mark wrote this book as an e-book and gave it away, and I understand he gave away hundreds of copies of it. He then published it, self-published, and sold tens of thousands. And then at some point, he got McGraw-Hill to pick it up, and it again has sold in the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of copies. It's a great little book. In terms of cost, it's probably about $10. I bought this one in Dubai a couple of weeks ago. Kinokuniya is this fabulous new bookshop which I came across in Dubai. Now it's based out of Singapore. I think it's got Japanese heritage, but if you're in Sydney in Australia, the only one I've found so far is on the corner of George Street and where what's called the galleries are. That's where the monorail whizzes around there. I think that's called Oxford Street. It could be another street. I'm not so good on Sydney, but in the gallery on the third floor, and it's if you like borders, you will just absolutely love this. So this is about Twitter, about the best way to use it, all the other bits and pieces, and it's probably the first really serious book written on Twitter, and it's been recently updated. As I said, I bought this one in the last couple of weeks when I was in Dubai, and I think I know about Twitter, but reading this I learnt a lot of new things. The next one, this book by Randy Gage, is called Risky is the New Safe, and basically he's saying that we should have a look at what everybody is saying to be true and look at in regard that it probably isn't. So he's saying it's a bad decision to go to university and borrow tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to qualify yourself for a job that may not exist at all in the 5 to 7 years it takes you to get that degree. And you're going to be in debt for a long time. You know, in Australia we have a thing called HECS, which is the Higher Education Common Share System, something like that. But basically, if your mum and dad don't pay, you pay, and you've got to get it back off your tax. In the US they have student loans, and people are weighing themselves down with tens of thousands of dollars of debt on the basis that they'll get a better job. And what Randy's saying is that we really should be looking at lots of things that are not about working for somebody else, they're about working for yourself. But here's a really interesting thing. He says that if you were looking for a job and you went to 3 or 4 of the world's greatest new companies, so the likes of Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, or Oracle, the odd one out is Google. The odd one out is Google, but I'll come back to talk to you about Google in a second. But all of those great companies, their common theme for their founders, Bill Gates didn't finish college, Steve Jobs didn't finish college, and as you go through, Mark Zuckerberg, the new Facebook billionaire, he didn't finish college. So why would you put yourself into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt to get a job with a company that the guy who started the company, that had all the ideas, never finished college. The guys that did Google, they're from Stanford, and they started Google before they finished getting their degree. I think they probably stayed on and then finished it off, but they were just maths geniuses. That would have been geniuses whether they had a degree from Stanford or not. So I recommend those two books to you. They'll give you a different thought on life. Twitter, which when I started 6 or 7 years ago had, I think I was in before the first 1 million people using it. It's now looking at about 500 million. The first serious book on Twitter, and it's still up to date now. It's called The Tao of Twitter, or Randy Gage's book about what the future is going to be like, Risky is the New Safe. So until I see you again, keep reading.